Welcome back. What a ridiculous night of hockey that was. A lot of no mercy games, a lot of shutouts. So some of them are both. This was the most lopsided, and no overtime, no overtime. So I can start this at a. I mean, still late, but not as late as normal on a Saturday night. So let's dive in. So Buffalo and Philadelphia. The Flyers have been doing a good job of playing spoiler, and tonight it just didn't quite work out for them because Buffalo does have that explosive offense. So it's Luukkonen versus Sandstrom. They had a nice ceremony for Coates. Coatesy, of course, retiring 43 years as the voice announcer for the Philadelphia Flyers. It was nice. It was a nice little send off they gave him. Shots are 2-0 for the Sabres at 2.5 minutes. Braun has a shot that's held. We get some pushing after that. Allison has a chance that's poke checked away. Momentum shifts to the Flyers as the period's going along. Konechny has a rush chance that's kicked aside. The shots are 8-4 Philadelphia at 8.5 minutes. Flyers press with 9 minutes left, and then Frost. Snaps one in from the slot. Lemieux and Allison with the assists at 16:35. Hayes then has a tip shot that saved. It's all Flyers, and then against the flow of play with 10 seconds left in the period, on a 2-on-1, Okposo scores from Samuelson at 19:50. So it's 1-1 after one, and Buffalo, honestly, lucky it's 1-1. But at 1:25 into the second, they get the lead. It's tucked from Middlestad. So suddenly we're looking at a 2-1 game for Buffalo. It's a minute and 35 seconds of game time that switch has happened. The Flyers look to respond, but Buffalo scores again. Greenway buries a rebound on a good press. Jostin Dahlin with the assists at 2:40. We then get a post for Cousins on a 3-on-2, and then Quinn was denied right after. So it's a siege by the Buffalo Sabres at this point. And then Skinner adds one from Middlestad and Power at 3:46. Shots are 10-4, Sabres at 7.5 minutes. And honestly, since it's 4-1, how many goals they're scoring, I figured this one was going to be a no-mercy game as well. But things get punchy then on a hold by Luukkonen. Flyers press at 9.5 minutes. We get a power play for Buffalo. Good cycle. Skinner has a shot that's held, but that was killed off. And then at 16:02, Tuck scores. It's from a distance, not a great goal. Middlestad and Skinner with the assists on that one, but Philadelphia gets that back. It's Frost with the second of the game from Farabee and Sanheim at 16:24. And then the Flyers press with 2 minutes left. So, coming out of the second period, you've got 5 Buffalo goals that are sandwiched between 2 goals for Philly. But again, Buffalo games can be pretty wide open, so if you're the Flyers, you have to think, well, if we could get one early. So third period, there's a power play for the Flyers. That's killed off. The Flyers had the only shot on net 5 minutes in, and then at 5:11 they score. It's a face-off win. Konechny buries it. Cates with the assist. So suddenly it's 5-3. We then had a power play for the Flyers. Buffalo with a big kill there. Cates has a shot that's held as the Flyers press. The shots are 7-2 in favor of Philly with 8 minutes left. So they didn't go away. 5:20 left. The Flyers get a power play. That leads to a shorthanded goal for Buffalo. It's Tuck from Quinn. That's a hat trick for him. And that's at 16:33. And it was just stolen by Quinn, gotten over to Tuck, and it's in the net. Sabres then finish the kill, and they end up winning this one 6-3. They go to 37-31-7 with the win. Philadelphia 29-33-13 with the loss. The shots on net 14-5 Philadelphia in the first. Both teams had 17 shots in the second period, and then 11-7 Philly in the third. Final shots 42-29 for Philadelphia. Power plays Buffalo 0-3, Philadelphia 0-2. Hits 20-15 for Philadelphia. Luukkonen saves 39 out of 42. Sandstrom saves 23 out of 29. So yeah, all right, moving along. Carolina and Montreal. This was lopsided. Honestly, if No Mercy wasn't just about a 5-goal differential, I would have slapped it up here too, because the shots tell you what happened. It's Ronta versus Montembeault. I hope Montembeault had multiple water bottles ready. Early jump for the Canes. That's an understatement. Gurianov then has a rush chance that's held, but the shots on net 5 minutes in are 4-1 for Carolina. And then at 6 minutes, Shea wires one through a screen. Stastny and Pesce with the assists. Habs get stuck at one shot for a while. The Canes are controlling things. Halfway through the period, the shots are 12-2 for Carolina. Matheson has a blast that's blocked, cleared out. Ullinen has a screenshot that's kicked aside. And Montembeault's the only reason this game's close after one period. Second period, Slavin fires one wide on a face-off win. The shots on net are 3-0 Canes at 3 minutes. Canes press at 6 minutes. The Habs can't clear it out. They get pinned down for a while there. Jarvis has a prime chance. That's defended by Harris and finally held by Montembeault. Canes press continues, and the Habs pin down beyond that. Chatfield has a shot that's blocked. Honestly, it's all Canes. I don't know that the Zamboni needed to clean the Montreal side of the ice. Kokaniemi has a chance that's held, and then it's Stastny. It's a point shot that deflects in. Stastny with the goal from Burns and Jarvis at 10:51. We get a power play for Montreal. That's killed off. Canes get a power play. Aho has a blasted save. They cycle. There's a post for Burns, and then Aho scores during a delayed call. Nason and Drury with the assists at 16:27. Now, when you have a power play and there's a delayed penalty, you still get the power play afterwards. And so they go back to the power play. Mercifully for Montreal, that's killed off to keep it 3-1. The Habs with the 2-on-1 after that. Pezzetta fires one wide. 16 seconds left. Montreal gets a power play. So that rolls over into the third. Carolina doesn't even let him set up. That's killed off. The Habs press at 4 minutes. Suzuki has the puck in the slot. It's stripped right off of his stick. Canes press at 7 minutes. The shots are 8-3 for Carolina with 8 minutes left. There's a power play for Montreal. That's killed off. They really had nothing going all night. This was a full 60 minutes from Carolina. Must have seen my video. So they win this one 3-0. There's the Tony the Tiger Magnet. They go to 48-18-9 with a very authoritative win over Montreal, who are now 30-41-6 on the season. The shots on net, 18-5 Carolina in the first, 18-5 Carolina in the second, 14-4 Carolina in the third. Final shots, 50-14 for Carolina. Power plays, the Canes 1 for 2, Montreal 0 for 3. The hits, 16-9 for Montreal. Ronta saves all 14 shots for his 19th career shutout. Welcome back. We gave you an easy night. Montembeault, not an easy night. 47 saves on 50 shots. Just insane. All right, next up. Florida absolutely annihilated Columbus. This is ugly, and it's ugliness that abounds on this first board. So it's Lyon versus Hutchinson. Early rushes for both teams. There's a press by Florida. They're kept to the outside. Shots are 2-0 Florida at 4 minutes. Columbus presses. They can't get to the net. Florida's not giving them any really good chances. Lusterinen then has a rush chance that's held. We get a Panthers press at 9 minutes. We end up with a power play for Florida, and they score on it. Sam Reinhart from Tkachuk and Barkov at 12:03. Roofs that one from in close. So good chance. Good luck Hutchinson on that. Panthers press with 3.5 minutes left. Forsling has a screenshot that's held. And at 17:29, Verhaeghe, who is about to have a big night, he scores from Forsling and Barkov. So it's 2-0 for Florida after the first. Second period, 18 seconds. Yep, that's all it takes for Verhaeghe to get his second of the game from Ekblad and Duclair. Goudreau then had an end-to-end rush. That was defended. Columbus presses at 2.5 minutes. They end up getting a power play. Goudreau's denied. The rebound's cleared. That's killed off. And then things get pushy on a hold by Hutchinson. And then it's tic-tac-toe. And I put up here men versus boys. Like, it just... If you were watching this and somebody said, actually, this is an NHL roster versus an AHL roster, you'd be believed. And if you've looked at the injured list for Columbus, it's kind of what we're looking at here. So Verhaeghe gets that one from Monter and Duclair at 6:34. That is a natural hat trick for Carter Verhaeghe. He's now above the 40-goal mark on the season and just been an absolute revelation for the Florida Panthers. Then we get a power play for Columbus, becomes a 5-on-3. Shorthanded Gudis chance fired wide. They kill that off. Then we get a power play for the Panthers. Columbus kills that off as well. And we're going to the third period with the score 4-0 for Florida. Third period, Florida presses early. Tkachuk has a net feed. That's held. Shots are 3-0 Panthers at 3 minutes. There was actually no mercy in this game. None. Zero. Bemstrom has a shot that's blocked as Columbus presses. Lundell has a 3-on-2 chance to deflect wide, and then Cousins fires one top shelf. Eric Stahl and Reinhart with the assists at 8:34. Hutchinson was down on the play, and they took advantage. Then there's a delay game call that gives Florida a power play, and they don't score on it, but not long after it's killed. I think this is right after it's done. Verhaeghe scores at 11:18 from Duclair and Barkov. So that's 6-0, and then Eric Stahl adds one from Reinhart and Lomberg at 14:16. I think that's the 455th goal of his career. We had a power play for Columbus to close it, because why not? Your final score is 7-0 Florida. They go to 39-31-7, and with the loss by Pittsburgh earlier today, now Florida occupies that second wildcard spot, but Pittsburgh does have one game in hand. For Columbus, 23-44-8 is their record. Shots on net, 13-5 Florida in the first, 15-7 Florida in the second, 21-9 Florida in the third. Final shots, 49-21. They cranked up the offense with each period. Power plays, Florida 1 for 3, Columbus 0 for 4. The hits 28-18 for Columbus. Lyon makes all 21 saves for his first career shutout. Kudos to him for that. And Hutchinson 42 saves on 49 shots. Just thrown to the wolves. I feel bad for Hutchinson on that one. And tomorrow Columbus is against Ottawa, so a team that's desperate for a playoff spot as well. Sure, why not? All right, next up, the Islanders and the Bolts. This ended up being really lopsided too, although the shots weren't as lopsided as they were in these two. So it's Sorokin versus Vasilevsky. Warning to the rest of the National Hockey League. I think over the last couple of weeks, Vasilevsky has got himself into playoff shape. So the Islanders press at 1.5 minutes. Chernak has a net feed that's held. Good pace, few whistles early on in this one because it's an Islanders game. Perry's denied and close. The shots on net are 5-2 for the Islanders 8 minutes in. Power play for Tampa. Then becomes 52 seconds of 4-on-4. Everything's killed off with Hagel clearing it out to end that one penalty kill. Strong back checking by the Islanders, but then one's wired short side from the point. Sergachev from Colton and Radish at 17:53, so it's 1-0 for Tampa. Bolts then look for another, but it's still 1-0 after one. Second period. Bolts press at 2 minutes. Cirelli fires one wide. The Islanders rush, but then Tanner Jeannot gets a goal. I think this is his first with Tampa, right? From Belmar and Cole at 3:42. The Islanders press to respond. They don't get down about it. Stamkos then has a rush chance that's held. The Islanders press at 5.5 minutes. There's a near miss for Palmieri. Hagel had a rush chance that's defended by Pelech. We get a power play for the Islanders. That's killed off. And then Kucherov scores from point, and Sergachev at 9:57. He buries that one on a fast break. And then at 11:45, Stamkos adds one from Radish and point. We then had 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Cirelli fires one high in a rush, and Jeannot can't hit a buzzer beater. But after 2 periods, it's 4-0. So again, there's no tension in these games whatsoever. Third period, early press by the Bolts. Belmar to Jeannot, near miss there. Get a power play for the Islanders. That's killed off. Shots are 5-3 for the Islanders with 9 minutes left. There's a power play for Tampa, and they score on it. It's Braden Point from Kucherov and Killorn at 13:26. He wires that one from the slot. Islanders press are kept to the outside. Sergachev exited on the limp. We'll see if he's okay, but at any rate, the Bolts are okay. They win this one 5-0. They go to 45-26-6 with the win. The Islanders 39-29-9 with the loss, and they're not out of the woods in terms of finishing above the playoff line. So the shots on net in this one, 14-10 Tampa in the first, 20-12 for the Islanders in the second, 8-6 Islanders in the third. They actually outshoot Tampa 38-32. Power plays, the Islanders 0 for 3, Tampa Bay 1 for 2. The hits 36-35 for the Islanders. Sorokin saved 17 out of 21. Varlamov comes in relief, saves 10 out of 11. And Vasilevsky saves all 38 shots for his 32nd career shutout. And I believe that's his second of the week. So again, definitely putting the rest of the NHL on notice. And now I need to change boards. All right, Toronto and Ottawa. So Samsonov versus Sogard. In this one, the shots are 1 apiece at 3 minutes. Pretty good defense early on in this one. Tkachuk nearly buries one as the Sens press. Montreal? No, Ottawa might be tired. Ottawa presses again at 6 minutes. We're going to get a power play for the Senators. They cycle, the net gets knocked off. That's killed off. Shots are 8-4 for Ottawa with 9.5 minutes left. The Sens are preventing rush chances pretty well at this point in the game. Kerfoot to Nylander, that's blocked out. Matthews picks off a net feed. And in the last minute, the Leafs press, but they can't get to the net. So after the first period, Ottawa's outplayed Toronto, but it's scoreless. And early in the second period, Bunting spins and fires one at 1:23 and puts Toronto ahead. So kind of against the flow of what the play was in the first period. Toronto suddenly has a lead. Leafs press at 3 minutes. We get a power play for the Leafs. That's killed off. Shots are 4-1 Toronto at 7 minutes. Tkachuk's denied and close. Matthews has a shot that's blocked. The rebound's cleared. And then Nylander scores from Kerfoot at 12:56. Sanderson's then denied a response. And then Zohorna, his first game as a Leaf, he scores at 18:09, and I'm hearing a lot of the same things I've said about Zohorna. I'm a lot more reserved in my expectations with Zohorna at this point. McCabe and Brody with the assists. Zohorna's a big dude, and if he could learn how to use that to his advantage, he would be an NHL fourth liner for good. So yeah, he scored that one right off the bench too. So he comes over the ice and gets it within seconds of getting on the ice in his short side too. So it's 3-0 Toronto after 2 periods. Even though the shots favor Ottawa through 2 periods. Third period, early jump for the Sens. Stützle has a slot shot that's held. The shots are 5-0 for Ottawa at 6 minutes. They can't beat Samsonov. Near miss for Zahorna. We get pressure as the Leafs at the half started, getting some opportunities of their own. Not that they get a lot of shots out of it. Stutzla fires one high. It's cleared out. There's a shorthanded rush for Kerfoot that ends a power play the Senators had drawn, and Ottawa only managed one shot during that power play. Goalie pull happens with around 5 minutes left. They're unable to generate a goal. Toronto doesn't hit the empty net. They win this one 3-0. They go to 45, 20, and 10 with the win, so there's 100 points for Toronto. For Ottawa, 37, 34, and 5, and this one hurts. Even though Pittsburgh and the Islanders both lost today, Florida won. And so now their goal of reaching the playoffs just it looks unreachable at this point. So shots on net, 10-5 Ottawa in the first, 11-8 Toronto in the second, 13-4 Ottawa in the third. Final shots 31-20 for Ottawa. Power plays, Toronto 0 for 1, Ottawa 0 for 2. The hits 38-30 for Ottawa. Samsonov saves all 31 shots for his 10th career shutout. Sogard saved 13 out of 16, and then Talbot in relief saved 4 out of 4. So, it definitely looks like for Ottawa, this is probably the end of that run. But hey, it was fun to see them have one this year. All right, New Jersey and Chicago. Chicago almost pulled off an upset here. In that there were points of this game where I thought New Jersey wasn't quite as focused as you might want them to be, right? So it's Blackwood versus Stalock. The shots are one apiece at 2.5 minutes. Bratt has an in-close chance that's held. Devils press at 7.5 minutes. Jujar Kara has a net feed that's blocked. McLeod has a net feed that's picked off. We get a power play for the Hawks. That's killed off. Athanasiou can't bury a loose puck. Stalock poke checks Wood on a net drive. 42 seconds left. The Devils have a power play. I'll get there. We'll get to the Ducks-Oilers game eventually. I must just be really excited to talk about it. So it's scoreless after one. Second period, the Hawks finish the kill. The shots are one apiece at 3 minutes. Athanasiou has a rush chance that's defended, but it is New Jersey that opens the scoring. It's Hamilton with his 20th of the season from Palat and Ball at 6:19. And that's buried on a rush right after the Athanasiou one wouldn't go. Hawks look to answer. We get a post for Seth Jones, and at 7:45 they get that answer as Tyler Johnson from Radish and Dickinson. And then Chicago gets the lead. It's Lucas Reichel from Athanasiou and Radish at 13:58, so there's Taylor Radish with a couple of assists. Hughes then has a rush chance that's saved, and then Howla would answer from Meyer and Hamilton at 15:31, and before the period's out at 18:28, New Jersey gets the lead back. It's Boquist from Hughes and Bratt. So we go to the third period with the score 3-2 for New Jersey. Pretty eventful second period there. Third period, Palat has a rush chance that's held. The shots are 3-1 Devils at 3 minutes. Mercer's denied from the slot, and then Graves buries one on a net drive while Meyer was hurt in the corner. He was okay. Howla and Boquist with the assists at 5:17. McLeod then had a net drive that was saved, but Chicago answers. Athanasiou brings him back within a goal. Taves and Zaitsev with the assists at 9:03. So there's Jonathan Taves on the board with a helper. Looked it up. I think that's the 881st point of his career. Radish then has a rush chance that's defended. Tatar fires one wide. The Hawks clear, but at 16:04, Timo Meyer scores from Severson. That makes it 5-3. So they pull the goaltender, and the empty netter is scored by Mercer from Hischier and Tatar at 17:58. So New Jersey 6-3 winners here. They go to 48-20-8 with the win. Chicago 24-46-6 with the loss. Shots on net 10-4 New Jersey in the first, 16-9 New Jersey in the second, 14-4 New Jersey in the third. Final shots 40-17 for New Jersey. Power plays, both teams go for 1. Hits 27-14 for Chicago. Blackwood saves 14 out of 17, and Stalock saves 34 out of 39. So not a great night statistically for Blackwood. Doesn't matter. Chicago didn't have enough shots. New Jersey comes out of there with a win. And now tomorrow night they're going to play against Winnipeg. So that should be interesting. All right, next up. Dallas and Colorado. Clearly the Avs remembered what happened last time out, and they didn't have any interest in that happening again. So Colorado wins 3 out of 4 against the Dallas Stars this year, and I wasn't entirely surprised by this one, to be honest, because Colorado was due for a game like this. So it's Ottinger versus Georgiev. Early jump for the Avs. O'Connor mishandles one on a net drive. The shots are 2 apiece at 4 minutes. Good flow to the game. Pretty even at that stage. Nichushkin's denied on a tip shot, and then McKinnon. It's a good press. He buries it. The assist goes to Rantanen at 8:54. Then we go a long stretch without a whistle. Rantanen has a rush chance that's held. Hintz was denied. Good start for Georgiev. Power play for Dallas. That's killed off. Glendenning was denied soon after that was done. Ben has a net feed that's blocked. With 29 seconds left, the Stars get a power play. So that rolls over into the second period. There's a shorthanded chance for Comfer. That was saved. Stars have issues setting it up. Johnston has a shot that's saved. That power play is killed off. Stars press afterwards, but they're kept to the outside. The Avs go to the power play. Back-to-back clears by Dallas. They do kill that off, but O'Connor would score from Cogliano. Great pass by Cogliano there. At 6:04, that makes it 2-0 for Colorado. Shots are 5-2 for Colorado at 9 minutes. Then we get a power play for Dallas. The Avs clear it out twice, but eventually Dallas scores. It's tapped in by Sagan, Dadonov, and Robertson with the assists at 11:54. Stars press to tie it with 3:58 left. Dallas goes back to the power play. That was killed off. And then with 1:06 left, the Avs go to the power play, and importantly, they score on it. It's McKinnon with another one from Rantanen and Comfer. That's a 19:48, so McKinnon with a couple of goals. And after the second period, it's 3-1 for Colorado. Third period, early press by Colorado. Jack Johnson has a tipped shot. That's held on to. Power play for Colorado. That's killed off. The Avs press after it's done. The Stars score. Goalie interference challenge. And you can tell pretty early that, Suter ends up pushing the defenseman into his own goaltender. It's no goal. Hintz is then denied as the Stars press. Rodriguez is then denied at the other end. Goalie pull happens with around 4 minutes left, and eventually it's an empty net goal for Nichushkin from Rantanen at 16:52. Pavelski would answer. He scores from Robertson and Haskin at 18:44, so they pull the goalie again, and that gives Rantanen another empty netter for Colorado at 19:48. So Rantanen with a good night. He has a goal and 3 assists, and your final score is 5-2 for Colorado. They go to 45, 24, and 6 with the win. Dallas 41, 21, and 14 with the loss. Shots on net are 10-9 Dallas in the first, 11-7 Colorado in the second, 12-11 Colorado in the third. Final shots 32-28 for the Avs. Power plays 2 for 5 for Dallas, 1 for 3 for Colorado. Hits 32-29 for Dallas. Ottinger saves 27 out of 30. He was good. Georgiev was better. 26 saves on 28 shots. And now, last board change for tonight. Keep in mind, too, this is the second to last Saturday of the regular season. All right, so Anaheim and Edmonton. And as you can see, we got 2 more No Mercy magnets on this board here. Starting with this one, Gibson versus Campbell. You know what's funny? The Ducks played really well. They did. To start off this game, they played really, really well. Early jump for the Oilers, but there's some tight checking by the Ducks. The Oilers press at 8 minutes. Draisaitl to Kane, near miss there. The shots are 6-3 for the Oilers at the half, but the shots even up in the second half of that period. It's a pretty solid second half of that period for the Ducks. Things get pushy and punchy on a hold by Campbell. The Ducks press with 6.5 minutes left. Kane hammers Vetrano. Vetrano threw a hit. I think it was on Draisaitl, and so it draws a crowd. We end up with a power play for the Oilers as a result. McDavid to Hyman, that's picked off. That power play's killed off. But then at 17:56, Hyman tips one post and in. Ekholm with the assist. Ekholm with 20 assists on the season now. Grant then can't bury a buzzer beater. So it's 1-0 Oilers after 1. So that had to be somewhat disheartening for the Ducks. You outshoot the Oilers by almost 2-1, and you're still behind. And then early-ish in the second period, Draisaitl scores from Kane at 2:03. It's a backhand goal on a rush. Suddenly it's 2-0 for the Oilers. All of the hard work for the Anaheim Ducks is forgotten, and the dam bursts. So the shots are 4-1 for the Oilers 3 minutes in. Yamamoto's denied, the rebounds cleared. At 5:05, Nurse adds one to make it 3-0. Ducks look to answer. They're kept to the outside. The Oilers are not messing around at this point. Yamamoto to Kane, near miss. We get a power play for the Oilers, and they score on it. It's Draisaitl from Hyman and McDavid at 11:45. He buried the rebound as the kill ended. So let me check and see. Yeah, they still count that as a power play goal. At the time, the app didn't say it was a power play goal, but they rewound it a second, I guess, to make sure that it counted as a power play goal. Power play then for the Ducks. Zegras gets shaken up, heads off to the bench. The power play's killed off. The Oilers take control back immediately after that power play's done. So after 2 periods, it's 4-0 for Edmonton. Third period, near miss for Draisaitl on a rush. The Oilers press, and McDavid scores the 62nd of the season from Bouchard and Nugent-Hopkins at 4:25. Max Jones then has a net drive. That's held. The Ducks press at 6.5 minutes. So power play for Anaheim, that's killed off. The Ducks go back to the power play, and that leads to a shorthanded marker. Draisaitl getting his 50th in style. Ekholm with the assist at 15:01. and the Oilers then finish the kill. So now they're up 6-0. Draisaitl's got 3 goals 3 different ways. And there you go. The Oilers then finish the game on a power play, because why not? So they win this one 6-0. They go to 45-23-9 with the win. The Ducks 23-43-10 with the loss. The shots on net 17-10 Anaheim in the first, 24-9 Edmonton in the second, 11-10 Edmonton in the third. Final shots 45-36 for the Oilers. Power plays, Anaheim 0 for 3, Edmonton 1 for 3. Hits 20-16 for Anaheim. Gibson saves 31 out of 36. Dostal comes in as the relief. 8 saves on 9 shots. Campbell saves all 36 shots for his 10th career shutout. I'm very happy that Campbell got that, and we'll see if he can build some momentum. I understand it's against the Ducks, but still, 36 shots, that's pretty good for a shutout. All right, next up, LA and Seattle. So the Kings have started playing, I would say it's almost Islanders level of hockey at this point. Kind of a Minnesota Wild vibe I'm getting from the Kings game, and then the Oilers game, and now the Seattle game. So it's definitely something with the Kings. So it's Copley versus Jones. The early jump is for the Kings. McCann then has a rush chance that's tipped high. The shots so are 3-2 for LA 4 minutes in. The shots are not continuing at that rate, though. Very, very few good chances in that first half of the period. Then we get a power play for the Kraken. There's a Tolvanen shot that's blocked. They cycle. Sprong was denied. That power play's killed off. Kings press are kept to the outside. We're scoreless after 1. Second period. Kraken press at 2 minutes. Kaliev has a sharp angle shot that's saved. We get a press by the Kings at 5 minutes. 5.5 minutes, I should say. Walker has a blast that's kicked aside. The shots on net are only 2 apiece 6 minutes into the period. Kraken press cannot get to the net. Moore fires one wide as the Kings press, and then Dursey opens the scoring. That's from Iafallo and Fiala. That's at 11:45. The Kings press for another. The shots are 7-5 for LA with 6 minutes left. Larson has a blast that's held as the Kraken are pressuring, but it's 1-0 after 2 periods. And both teams only had 14 shots through 40 minutes. Third period early jump for Seattle. Eberle has a net drive that's held. The shots are 4-1 for Seattle, a minute and a half in. So they come out furious. They're not able to keep that pace up. No team can. No offense to Edmonton, but no team can get 4 shots every minute and a half. So Tolvanen has a fast break that's saved, and then it's a turnover, and it's in their net. It's Grundstrom at 5:22 puts LA up 2-0. But then Seattle gets a power play, and they score on it. It's Bjorkstrand with his 18th from Sprong and Schultz at 8:25, and that was on a failed clear by LA. So, yeah. Kraken press with 9 minutes left. We get a power play for the Kings. That's killed off. Sprong has a chance that's kicked aside. They would pull the goaltender, and Fiala hits the empty net at 19:14 from Iafallo. And your final score in this one's 3-1 for the Kings. They go to 44-22-10. Seattle 41-26-8. 90 points should be fine. They should be able to make the playoffs, but we'll see how things go with Calgary and Nashville from here. So the shots on net in this one, 6 apiece in the first, 8 apiece in the second, 12-5 Seattle in the third. Final shots 26-19 for Seattle. Power plays 0 for 1 for LA, 1 for 2 for Seattle. Hits 24-13 for the Kraken. Copley saved 25 out of 26. He was very good. Jones saved 16 out of 18 at the other end. So, yeah, definitely some question marks with Seattle as we get closer to the playoffs. I know Winnipeg's below them. 2 teams that have to pass them for them to fall out. But, yeah, it's just they just seem a little bit off. All right, next up, Minnesota and Vegas. So, it's Fleury versus Brossoit. This is the first time Marc-Andre Fleury started against Vegas in Vegas with Minnesota. He did that with Chicago as well. Early power play for the Wild, that's killed off, but at 5 minutes, Boldy deflects one in from Klingberg and Eriksson Ek. That was the 7th shot on net for Minnesota. Vegas had 0. So it looked early like, yeah, so this could be an absolute blowout against Vegas. Vegas looks to answer. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. The Wild press at 9 minutes, but on their second shot, during the 4-on-4, it's a goal for Vegas. It's Hutton from Eichel and Pietrangelo at 9:55. Marchessault then fires one high. The Wild cleared out, but you could feel the momentum had shifted. And at 16:13, Vegas gets the lead. It's Whitecloud from Stevenson. Vegas then presses for another. So after 1 period of play, it's 2-1 in favor of Vegas. Second period, Hartman can't bury one in close. The Wild press at 2 minutes, but the puck goes the other way, and Howden scores from Barbashev and Eichel. And so at 2:21, it's suddenly 3-1 in favor of Vegas. Eichel with a couple of helpers. The Wild press for a response. Boldy has a rush chance that's caught and held. We get a power play for Vegas. That's killed off. Vegas goes back to the power play. It then becomes 30 seconds of 4-on-4 before it's a Wild power play. And things get kind of scrummy and punchy around the net for the Vegas Golden Knights. So after 2 periods, it's 3-1 for Vegas. Third period, early press by Vegas. Boldy then fires one high on a rush. The shots on net are 3-2 for the Vegas Golden Knights at 6.5 minutes. Spurgeon has a rush chance that's saved. Kessel's denied. Fleury holds on. Shots are 9-4 for Vegas with 6 minutes left. Cotter has a rush chance that's saved. The goalie gets pulled early because they're down by 2, and it's Dean Evison. He likes doing that. The Wild cycle, they can't get to the net, and eventually at 18:46, Chandler Stevenson gets a goal into the empty net from Roy, and so your final score in this one is 4-1 in favor of the Vegas Golden Knights. They go to 47-22-7. For Minnesota, 44-23-9, and combined with the result for Colorado, it was fun being first while it lasted. So the shots on net in this one are 13-8 Minnesota in the first, 14-13 Vegas in the second, 21-4 for Vegas in the third. Very similar to the third period Minnesota had against Colorado the other night. And I said Minnesota can't play like that in the third. Here we are. Final shots 43-30 for Vegas. Power plays, both teams go 0 for 2. The hits 32-30 for Vegas. Fleury saves 39 out of 42. He actually had a good night. It's not on him. Brossoit was excellent as well, 29 saves on 30 shots. So, yeah, a pretty impressive night for Vegas. And San Jose and Arizona. So one thing is, with these games being so lopsided and just this lack of drama, it definitely shortens the amount of time that these recaps take. So it's Kakinen versus Prosvetov. And before this game, I thought, well, they got Kakinen in the net. Arizona should get a bunch of goals. I was wrong. So good early back and forth, but at 1:29, on a turnover and in the slot, Gregor buries one from Sturm. You can't do that. And yet Arizona did it over and over and over. So the Sharks are disappearing into the board ads. I thought I'd put that because it's just ridiculous. Gary Bettman, if you're distracted by the boards, you're not looking at the right thing. I was looking at the puck, Gary. I was looking at the puck, and the guy with the puck behind the net disappeared into the boards like a chameleon. And I'm pretty sure that human beings play hockey, Gary. So fix the boards. Anyways, it was really, really distracting. There was also during a Boston game the other night, the entire rink went dark, and you could just see the board ads as brightly lit up. It was so weird. I mean, it was only for like 10 seconds, and after it happened, I thought, was that a stroke? Anyways, so, but remember, if you're distracted by the board ads, it's your fault. So, Krause has a blast that's kicked aside. Then there's a power play for San Jose, and they score on it. And they had a lot of power plays tonight. It's Peterson from Couture and Carlson at 8:38. The Coyotes just keep turning it over. Sharks press with 8 minutes left, and Chris Cuolo gets his first National Hockey League goal at 13:02. There's a lot of first goals tonight. We then had a power play for Arizona, and they score on it. Mosier scores from Michelli and Soderstrom at 17:07. It was a good cycle. He buries it, and Arizona needed this. It makes it 3-1 after 2. Second period, early power play for the Sharks, and they score on it. It's Gushkin with his first National Hockey League goal from Carlson and McDonald. So Erik Karlsson got some points tonight. Might want to send a gift basket to the Coyotes. Thanks, guys. Hayden then has a net feed that's blocked. The Coyotes, they press with 9.5 minutes left. The Sharks get a power play. The Sharks had so many power plays. I didn't even know if I got them all on the board because a lot. Peterson has a tip shot that's held. That's killed off. And then Coyotes get a power play, so that's killed. And guess what happened next? Yep, another power play for the Sharks. Yep, that's killed off too. So lots of power plays in that second period, not a lot of flow. Third period. Coyotes score, goalie interference challenge, and yep, no goal on that one. The shots are 4-1 for the Coyotes at 3 minutes, but they're not getting any luck. I mean, seriously, there's just no luck for them tonight. Brown has a point shot that's saved and held. The Coyotes press at 5.5 minutes. Peterson has a 3-on-2 chance that's saved. And then Gregor scores from Sturm at 8 minutes. So we get another Sharks power play because we hadn't had one in about 5 minutes. And Couture scores from Hertl and Carlson at 10:10. And then Gregor finishes his first NHL hat trick. He looked as surprised as the rest of us that he got it. LeBanc and Carlson with the assist at 14:47. So let's see Carlson. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he's going to get 100 points. I'm surprised he didn't get all 9 points that he needed coming into today in this game. So that's his first NHL hat trick. And then at 15:10, Kellerman for Arizona gets his first National Hockey League goal from McBain and Ritchie. So that's kind of nice. They didn't even have the horn. There was nothing. It was like It was kind of sad. Like, yeah, it's 7-2. We're just done. It's like the guy who controls the horn and all the music. I'm out of here. Anyways, 2 minutes left. The Sharks get a power play because you got to end the game on a power play. So they did, and they won it, 7-2. And it's another no mercy magnet. That's 5 games out of 11 today that were no mercy, and 4 shutouts. That's insane. And 3 of those shutouts were no mercy shutouts. And I only have 3 of the Tony the Tiger magnets, so I didn't have enough for all of them, so that's why I didn't use them all. So San Jose goes to 22, 39, and 50, and I'm sure all Sharks fans are going to be really happy about their 3-game winning streak. For Arizona, 27, 37, and 13. You guys didn't want to finish 32nd, did you? So, yeah, the shots on net, 13-10 San Jose in the first, 10-6 San Jose in the second, 15-8 in the third in favor of Arizona. Final shots are 31-31. Power plays. A little bit of a difference here. 3 for 7 for San Jose, 1 for 2 for Arizona. Hits 31-25 for Arizona. Kakinen, good night for him. 29 saves on 31 shots. Prosvetov, 24 saves on 31 shots. Rough night for him. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.